Hi, I'm Elisa.
And I'm Rebekah. And this is Carl. He wanted to be on the podcast today.
We are sisters from Minnesota who've always loved various arts and crafts, and in the last couple of years, we've really fallen in love with knitting.
Yeah, and we wanted to use this platform to document and share all the things we've been learning and working on. So welcome to the Sister Knit podcast.
So for our February update, we have, 3 finished objects, 5 works in progress,
Yep.
a couple of acquisitions, and a lot of future plans.
So many plans that I don't know how we're gonna get it done, but
we're not. It's grand
optimistic.
plans. Yes, we're optimistic. It'll be good. So I will start with my first finished object, which is my porcelain sweater. And I won't talk too much about it because we've definitely talked at length in the last couple videos about this. But I did finally finish my second sleeve, and they are long enough. I had to I realized I blocked it flat, and then the sleeves were too short. But then I steamed it while I was hanging up, and the drop shoulder really dropped.
yeah.
So I think that's why my sleeves are long
That makes a
enough.
lot of sense. I think mine too. The drop shoulder is like about here.
Yeah.
So
It's
good
dropped
to know
now.
that if you're doing a drop shoulder sweater, maybe try and
Block it hanging up.
yeah.
Because, the body's just not very wide. I think that's what it is. Normally a drop sweater, you have a wider body, so then your drop shoulder comes out further. But if you can remember from the last video, we had some realizations with our yarn choices and our gauge, and I think it's just created kind of like a tighter fitting garment. It's not as oversized as we would have liked. I also heard somebody talking, I think it was in the Knitwear.Rebekah. Is that what it is? I can't remember. She's amazing, but she had mentioned the fit of the garment, the positive ease recommended is not the same as what's shown in the project photos on her website and on the pattern. So
And that's the same with the terracotta sweater. She has it very oversized, and people have said the same thing, where it's a different.
right, so you're like, oh, 20 centimeters of positive ease will get me that look, and it does not.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I totally forgot to talk about the yarn. I'm using Sandnes Garn Sunday held double with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. We'll have the colors listed below. I can't remember them off the top of my head. And then something else about this pattern that I really loved and have forgotten to mention is the sleeve decreases. She has you use the center double decrease, I believe is what it's called, instead of doing a knit 2 together and then a slip knit on the other side. And I just feel like it looks a lot cleaner. I don't really know how you can show it on the podcast well.
Yeah. We'll have to put a picture or something.
Maybe. But I feel like my slip knit always looks messy. I've tried watching all these tutorials, and I can just never get it to look very clean. So I think I'll probably take this into future projects, especially things with cotton or linen yarns. I feel like, oh my gosh, my stitches on that just are not very clean. So
Well, and
this
with the
hopefully will
color
help.
work too, you're breaking it only at one point.
Yeah.
Rather than
2 separate points.
2 separate points. So
It just created a very
less
clean
math.
look. Yeah, less math too.
yeah.
So
It looks so great.
Thank
And
you.
I love that you did that edge detail too.
Yes. Yeah, that's our only modification that we did, was adding this color work motif down on the sleeve to kind of break up that main color.
Yeah.
I feel like it just looks nice and crisp and clean. So
Great color choice.
thank you.
Yeah. My finished object is what I'm wearing as well. It is the Northland sweater by PetiteKnit. And I use the Noro Madara yarn in the color Yen. And I made this sweater for my husband. He loves everything Japan, and I just had to use the Noro yarn. I think I might go back and lengthen the sleeves a little bit, the body, and even the neckline. I think I should have known this as looking at the pattern, but it looks a little too feminine to do just the inch of 1x1 rib. So, and it is a little short on him. So I'm gonna lengthen those once I have the motivation to do so.
To rip out all of that tubular
Oh
vinyl.
my gosh. I just have so many other things I want to do.
Right.
Yeah, I really like the sweater pattern. It was nice to do after the porcelain, just something so easy. There's not even any German short rows. So you just kind of fly by and you got a sweater.
I also love the look of this contiguous saddle shoulder.
Yeah.
PetiteKnit does that in a couple of her patterns, and it just looks very clean on the shoulder there. It's a nice professional looking sweater then.
Yep.
Yeah.
The little details.
It is. It's
But
all
you
about
can
those little
definitely
details.
tell it's like a man's built because of the way that the armpits kind of fit me. So I don't know actually how often I'll wear it, but I will today.
It's cozy.
Yeah. And what
So-
else did you finish?
I finished one other thing. It's very small. It was just a little baby hat. I work as a labor and delivery nurse, and a lot of my coworkers will like crochet little hats for their patients. And I feel like they crochet a lot quicker than they knit.
Yeah.
And I had to use DPN, so it was a little bit clunky, but I had the same patient for like 3 days in a row. So I felt like we really connected, and I was like, I want to knit her baby a hat. So I did. It was kind of a frenzy. Like, I came home from work that evening and decided to do it before that morning. And I didn't really follow a pattern. Like, I took inspiration from one pattern, but I was just holding 2 scrap yarns together. I don't even know what my gauge was. Just grabbed some random needles. So I got to work, and then it was a frenzy of a day, and I didn't really have much time to finish it. And then towards the end of my shift, I was working on it, and my coworkers were like, Elisa, that's huge. It's not gonna fit the baby.
It was a big baby, but.
So my coworkers were all saying, Elisa, that is way too big. So I decided in that moment, with like an hour left of my shift, to rip it all out and re-knit it, but smaller. And that was a good decision because it did fit the baby better then. It was a little bit long, so we had to roll it, but it was cute, and it definitely won't fit him very long.
I prefer when it's a little long because then they can use it longer.
Potentially,
Yeah.
yeah. And like, it'll be a cute little memento. I don't know, it wasn't my best work, but it was a fun thought, and maybe someday in the future when I'm like sick of knitting myself sweaters, I'll just like knit a bunch of baby hats that I can give out to my patients. Yeah. So I like the thought.
I love a fun challenge like that.
Yeah.
It's like a last minute.
Exactly. My coworkers were like, are you gonna be able to do it? The one who told me to rip it out was like kind of feeling bad because it was like 6:50 and I hadn't finished it yet. And she's like, you're not gonna be able to finish it in time. But I pulled it through. I got it.
So they're like, push.
Pretty much. They were trying to be my cheerleaders there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it was fun. So that's all our finished objects.
Nice.
So here is 2 penny gloves, which some might say is a finished object, but it is not quite yet for me. So these are the penny gloves by Petite Knit, and I'm using the scrap yarn from this project to make them. Crazy thought. This is Sandnes Garn Sunday, just held single with 1 strand of Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair. It is quite a lovely combination. I'm doing a lot with this combination of yarn with the rest of my scraps from the sweater too. And it's just so soft and like lightweight. So I really do love it. These are just like a simple stockinette fingerless glove pattern that I'm making for my mom for her birthday, which was a couple days ago. So, you know us.
Fine.
But she's also a procrastinator, so she gets it. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we don't have our birthday presents on our birthday either from her. So I made the first one, and I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I watched Allie from Study Knits. I watched her video like as I was finishing up the first one, and she made a pair of these as a gift knit and said the same thing here, that she feels like the cuff is a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say for myself. So I had my mom try on the first one. This was not a surprise present. And she was like, oh, I love it, it's great. I also realized I think the dark color of these and the length of the cuff almost looks like that emo kid in high school or something.
Yeah.
And it's not really my vibe, but my mom is so practical, and she would definitely not want me to rip them out, and she definitely doesn't care about that. She's like,
And I don't think she's gonna look emo.
no.
So
She's just gonna be herself, and she'll be fine. But like, I don't think I could pull this off without like a skateboard or something. You know, I don't know. Like, there's like an aesthetic that it fits, and it's
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
not my aesthetic. So I have 2 of these finished. Well, one is really finished. I have to go back and add some length to this one. She really liked the fact that she could like tuck her fingers in it more, which I was like, then why am I knitting you a fingerless glove? We'll see how she goes with it. But I'm knitting 3 for her because she always loses one of her mittens and one of her gloves, so she just is constantly wearing mismatched pairs of everything. And my thought was, well, then she can lose one and she'll have a backup. So these can go on either hand, so whatever one she loses first, then she's got a backup for
That's
it.
such a good idea.
So we'll see. I think she likes them. She liked how soft they were. So these will be done very shortly.
I have been working on a sweater for our sister's wedding, which is coming up soon. I am making the Georgia sweater. It is a raglan construction wrap cardigan that you're gonna end up working a really long section here to tie for a bow. And I am using Biche Le Petit Silken Mohair in the color Norwegian Red. And I'm not a red girl, but this is stunning. Like, it's
looks
just
really
the
good.
perfect color of red. So I might start bringing red more in my wardrobe, but
Who knows?
yeah, it's held double mohair, which I normally knit on metal needles. So that was definitely a challenge. And then I ended up borrowing Alyssa's wooden needles so that they wouldn't fall off my needles all the time, which I don't prefer. So I don't know that I'll do a mohair project again. I just love the slipperiness of metal needles. The mohair is so soft, like softest mohair I've ever felt, but it also tends to tangle really easily. I made the mistake the first time. I was like, oh, I'll just pull both ends from the same ball. Oh. And then I ended up with just like gnarled knot that my mother-in-law attempted to untangle. But with the mohair, it's just like impossible because like the mohair bits kind of like clump and yeah. So it has been kind of tangly, but the finished product is just gonna be so worth it. Yeah, I got one sleeve done and I started the next one.
It's got some cute little like balloon sleeve moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of knit to your length and then decrease 2 rounds, and then it's a I-cord edging around it, and then I will do the bow. It had said to do the bow before the sleeves, and I just figured, well, I know what length I'll want the sleeves, and the bow can be whatever yarn I have left. So that was my reasoning. Yeah, I had heard that there was some negative reviews on this pattern by String Things by Mel, and she ended up just making her own pattern, which I'm like, good for you. I'm not at that point. So I just, I watched her video and was like aware, I guess, of what downfalls there might be, but I haven't really come across any. So I don't know, maybe it's with the bow, but my favorite thing about this pattern is that it's gonna be reversible, so that you could do the V in the front and then just have the tie kind of go around to the back and it won't be a bow, or you could do the front and the bow, where the pattern that Mel made was just for the front. So that was good.
There are a lot of like wrap cardigan patterns.
Yeah.
But you were like looking for such a niche. Like this was exactly what you were looking for.
I do love the look of the double
mohair.
held mohair.
Yeah.
I think it just makes it even more elegant. So
yeah,
that will be a fun one to finish. What else are you working on?
This is my Moby sweater.
So
I
pretty.
have finished the back yoke and started the left shoulder. So let me tell you a little bit about this. I'm using, it's the Moby sweater by PetiteKnit, and I'm using Sandnes Garn Pure Gint in Arctic Ice, which is a lovely color. Originally I was gonna try something different, but they didn't have enough yarn in stock at our local yarn store in those shades. And this was like the only option available, and I was like, okay, but I think I'll love it.
Yes.
I think it'll be a really good color to showcase these cables, but not be like a pure white or just like another cream or beige, because I have a lot of cream and beige in my wardrobe.
Isn't that what you were gonna pick, a beige, right?
I was gonna pick a heathered beige, thank you very much.
It was the Lord just like, no more.
Divine providence,
Yes.
You need to knit in blue, pretty much.
You need more color.
So I originally, it calls for size 4 millimeter needle, but I was nowhere close to gauge on that. So I gauge swatched 3 times with 4.5 and then 5, but I met gauge with 5 mil needles, but I didn't really like the look of it, like the cables. The mock cabling just looked a little bit messy, as opposed to how like tidy it looked on the 4. So I decided to split the difference, and I went with the 4.5, and I like did the math to figure out how to make, like what size to make to get the right amount of ease, which normally I would just kind of like wing it, but I was like, I want to make like a nice sweater that fits me the right way. I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah.
This is like a birthday present from my in-laws. Like they got me a gift card to get the yarn.
Nice.
So I want to make like a nice sweater that I can
So what
show them.
size are you using then?
So I'm using 4.5 millimeter needles, and I'm making a size medium.
Okay.
I even like, so I did all the math to figure out how many stitches per inch and then how many stitches I would need to get, I like measured a crew neck to get the right size. And then I had my husband double check my math because math is really not my strong suit. And he was like, it looks all right. So hopefully I'll get the right size sweater out of this. All that being said, it is a lovely pattern. Ironically, right when I started working on it, TuxKnits made like a whole review video about it, and that was kind of like perfect timing.
Perfect.
She had stated that she kind of got sick of the mock cables. I'm not quite there yet. I think they're really nice and easy, but maybe at the end I'll agree with her. Some people have like twisted or flipped the way that the real cables are going because that is what then the pattern is different than the pattern photos. I didn't really care enough to do that, so I'm just following the pattern. But yeah, it has mock cabling, which is something that I'd never done before. So that was a new technique that I learned. It's really simple and kind of like, it adds a little bit of something different to the mindlessness of it because you get pretty used to the pattern. And then these like really nice big cables, which I don't know if you can really see very well, but I haven't done cables this wide before. Yeah, they're like really squishy and plump, and I'm sure they'll like be so pretty.
And then what is this stitch?
This is double moss stitch. And I love the way that this is like draping as well. So there's just always something interesting, always something fun. I had to really closely follow the pattern while it was increasing out because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing next. But once you get the established pattern, like it's kind of easy to just follow along without having to pay too much attention and like following the actual pattern. You can just kind of do it from memory, which I love. It's like intricate, but not like so mentally consuming. Yeah, so I've just started with the left shoulder, which I don't think will take too long. But this definitely will kind of get pushed on the back burner when we travel. Like I'm not taking this with me. So it's been kind of fun though, especially with those penny gloves. Like I got a little bit sick of the cables and then I did the stockinette of the penny gloves and I was like, okay, I'm ready for something more challenging again. So it's nice to have that back and forth. You don't get too bored of anything then and you can really appreciate each project for what they are. So this is my Moby sweater.
Nice. I need to do some sort of cabling project next. I've only done stockinette, so yeah.
I mean, when we first learned to
plans.
knit, you did some cabling.
Yeah,
like 10 years ago.
It's so long ago, probably.
I'm really proud of myself. I don't cable with a cable needle anymore. It's out of laziness. I was like, it's too much work to carry around a cable needle and you use it like once every 10th row or whatever. So I just don't use it. And it worked out.
Nice. Okay, I am working on one other thing. I cast this on just a few days ago because I'm going to a conference next week. So I was like, I kind of want this. So I have 5 days to make this project. And I think I'm gonna vlog the whole process.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so you guys get to see me struggle through it. But I am using the leftover Noro yarn to make the skirt #1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Oh, I'm so excited. I feel like it's not gonna be too difficult. Oh my gosh, look at this like tangled mess. Because it's just kind of, you just keep knitting. So I'm at the point where you do a provisional cast on, which Elisa helped me because I don't crochet. And then you knit 10 rows and then you change sizes, I think just to allow for more stretch for the elastic.
That would make sense.
Then do another 10 rows and then you sew in, or you put in the elastic and then you knit them together. And then you just kind of do a few increases and then you got a skirt. So we'll see if it's actually that easy, but yeah, this is where I'm at. I had to take a break though because for the next needle size is a 5.5 and they're for the large cables. So I was like gonna put them on and I'm like, that's not gonna fit. So I had to buy these like adapter.
And these are the Chowgu needles.
Yeah, these are the Chowgu. And you can just like add it to the large and then it will fit now on the small cable.
That's
I don't
nice.
know. On Amazon, you don't really know what size it's for.
Yeah.
It doesn't say if it's for a large or small. So no, I don't have to worry about that problem.
Nice.
But yeah, let's see if I can get it done by Monday.
It's currently Thursday.
But I don't have much else this weekend. So
I think you can do it.
I think we can do it.
And it's like a chunkier yarn with the mohair. Like, yeah, it'll work out.
Yep.
Or it won't. And it'll be fine either way.
Yeah. I don't need it. It just was like, oh, that would be a fun challenge. You know, I feel like we're pretty competitive. So we like when there's
I'm driven by a
time
deadline
crunch.
for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that is what motivates me most in life. That and like novelty, interest, you know, all those things. So my next whip is, I've been getting a lot of inspiration from other people. I don't think I've had a single idea that is my own recently. So this is the Scarlett headband by Ella Balance. And I saw, who was it? Knits by Wilma make this in cream with a mohair, and I thought, that is really pretty. I want one.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the exact same thing. And I'm unashamed of it. I just was like, it looked so pretty and so good. And I wanted a new little headband to wear in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So
That yarn is a little familiar, isn't it?
Crazy that you would say that. It's almost like it's the scraps from my porcelain sweater.
Wow.
As I said, I was really bad with math, so we actually
Clearly same.
underbought.
Like, how did I end up with like 3 of these?
I don't know. So I didn't have enough yarn for the sweater, and then I bought more, and I had way more than I needed. So I'm using up the scraps for other projects, and I'm really happy that I am. So this is Sandnes Garn Sunday, held with Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in their like whipped cream and cream colorways. So it looks really pretty so far. I'm gonna save this to knit on the plane in a couple weeks, even though I just like wanna have it because it's been chilly. But you just like knit a long tube, and then it's a free pattern actually on her blog. And there's a lot of different pictures to show how you like seam them together to get this cute little knot design. We'll see how clear that is when I get there, but there's a lot of photos, so I think it should be easy enough to follow. But yeah, nothing crazy, just nice little stockinette, but it looks really nice and like clean and elegant. So that's kind of what I'm going for with this.
So cute.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that concludes our whips. Next, I have a few acquisitions. Other than my little Xiaogu adapter. I don't even know what they're called. They're Xiaogu interchangeable. Oh, they are adapters. Okay, there you go. I have this yarn. I mentioned it in our last video. It is Big Love Cotton by the Wool and the Gang. And I'm gonna make a sweater for my friend, and I picked the pattern. It was the pattern that she sent me, but it was by this Etsy designer, so I was kind of hoping to find something a little more reputable.
Had more like,
I don't know,
photos.
It's what she wants. So it's called the Sweater Number 15 by Daisy and Peace. So I'll let you know how it goes. It's a drop shoulder, balloon sleeve,
chunky weight
sweater. So I will hopefully start that soon because also her birthday. But I forgot I got these for Christmas. And I've been trying to listen. My mother-in-law got me these little tags that I can put on my knits. Yeah, it says handmade by Rebekah.
And that is so her.
I was just thinking about that because I was trying to put the sweater on. I was like, wait, which way is the front?
Yeah.
And just to have like, it's really just so you know what's the back.
Right.
So yeah, I need to start sewing these on my projects.
What do they feel like? Oh, they're soft. They're not
Yeah.
like itchy tags.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know where she got them, but maybe I'll...
She sews things and puts her little tags on them too, right? So.
Yep, I got that for Christmas. And then I started this notebook for my projects. It was like a sponsored notebook from a company that my work uses. So I just like painted over it. I'll probably write something, but I'm gonna put all of the yarns that I use and just a few notes, like the size. Like, obviously I can use Ravelry too, but I just
You're more like
I'm a
physical person.
girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to update my Ravelry. I know that it's a little behind and there's probably people wanting that. And that's all the acquisitions, but for future plans, we have some very exciting plans.
Yeah. So we've been trying to think. So we're going to Copenhagen in a couple weeks in Italy. Okay, we're going to Italy for our sister's wedding, and we're just taking a minor detour first to stop in Copenhagen for a couple days. I promise I'm more excited about the wedding than the yarn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
The nice thing about doing it first is we'll get all of our like yarn knitting desires out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll just be there for her.
Yeah,
so I don't
maybe
even
just
know if
focus
we'll
on the
like
wedding.
go to a yarn store in Italy.
Maybe,
We might
maybe
be
not.
yarned up by that point.
Maybe. But we were like, okay, we need to come up with some like actual plans because
Yes.
otherwise we'll just get overwhelmed.
We need a plan.
And not come back with anything good. So you had the first plan.
Yeah, someone mentioned in our last video too, but I really want to get some cashmere. The yarn stores in our area don't carry a lot of cashmere options, so I think I'll either look for Lane cashmere, Cardiff, yeah, and I think I'll just get enough to make like a little scarf. Maybe my favorite thing's knitwear scarf number 1 or 2. So I'm gonna find a cute little color of cashmere.
That'll be super cute. And I haven't decided to do that, but I wouldn't be
probably convince
surprised
you.
if I was convinced. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other main thing that I want to be looking for is some Johanna's yarn. It is like a Danish yarn, and it is the recommended yarn for the sand grain slipover by Millistrik. And we wanted to get some special Danish yarn to knit these slipovers together, and we'll have little matching ones.
Yeah.
It's an all-over cabled slipover design that has these like interwoven diamond cables in the center. And before I decided to knit the Moby, I was like on the hunt for the perfect cable sweater that I wanted to make. And I was like looking all over for a diamond pattern in the middle. Like a lot of the new designs have diamonds on the sides, but I really wanted one in the middle. And there was like the Serena sweater, but that one was a little bit chunkier than I was looking for. And then I found this slipover pattern, and I was like, this is perfect. So we're gonna knit this together.
Yep.
But we don't have Johanna's yarn around us.
Yeah.
So we'll see either that or I think like Hedgehog Fibers or something, which I think is an Irish brand, but some of the stores carried that as well. So something a little bit chunkier. It's, I think, like a heavy DK or a light worsted for that sweater or slipover.
Or maybe something else that's inspiring. The nice thing about that slipover is it could be like wool, like super itchy stuff that.
Yeah, because I'll never just wear it on its own.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main plans that I want to look for.
That we want to.
Okay, that's we.
Yeah. Another yarn that I would love to grab is Chaos. They have a soft merino and mohair, or I think it's a brushed alpaca.
Oh,
Mohair, which is actually really soft. So their colorways are just the most vibrant colors. And I was trying to think through like what application I would even use that for. I'm like, I can't just do a whole sweater in these like bright colors.
you could.
I mean, I could, but I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, you know what would be really fun is to do the stripe hype sweater by Kutsuakika.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I don't know what colors yet. I think I'll just wait till I can see them in person.
Yeah. You've been dreaming though. She's been sending me screenshots of.
Yes. I'm really excited about those because I just love color. So
another thing that I thought would be fun would be like a hand-dyed mohair. One of the videos I saw of people in Copenhagen, they had found something like this. And I thought it was just a fun little moment of something colorful or fun that, you know, you don't have to worry so much about getting a whole sweater's quantity because it's just like a mohair. So maybe it would be like less on the pricier end than you could pair it with something else that we have around here. So that would be kind of fun, just to have like a little bit. I'd probably make like the October or the Monday sweater, something simple that can really showcase the yarn very well. That would be nice and cozy.
yeah. Fortunately, our yarn store carries Sandnes Garn and Knitting for Olive, so we won't really need to get any of that. But I think there are a few bases and colors that we don't have.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested in looking at those and maybe we'll get some.
I've been eyeing up like a cloud blouse or a cloud sweater and maybe like the Sandnes Garden Poppy, which is like a blown cotton yarn.
Yeah.
Or like has a couple different things in it. But that might be fun for that if they have some. Otherwise.
Also, we want to look for booklets.
Yes. Yes. We don't have any Sandnes Garden booklets around here. If you're not from the US, then you might not know how difficult it is to get Sandnes Garden patterns around here. But there's like 1 or 2 websites you can order them from, and you have to order it as a whole kit with all of the yarn, which is a lot of money. I mean, I guess that's maybe what you'd spend at your local yarn store getting that yarn. So I've been eyeing up the artisan cardigan, and I kind of just like gave up hope on it until we decided we were going to Europe, and I was like, oh, maybe we can find it.
We'll find
maybe. I don't know. We've been looking at the websites and they don't say they carry them.
Yeah.
So we just got our fingers crossed.
And I would love to do the Frankie sweater.
Yeah.
I like love the green, but I also want to do something a little more original, but I'll probably just do the green.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really cute and green.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We're not totally sure if we can find those, but we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Who was it? Paige by Two Pearls in a Pod said that when she was in like Scandinavia, you could just find Sandnes Garn booklets everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I hope that's the case.
Yeah. So those are our Copenhagen plans. Someone in the comments recommended bringing like a vacuum seal bag. I'm like, you are brilliant. And so now we're like, okay, space might not be an issue, but maybe our budget will be more of the determining factor.
I think it will. I'm just like living in ignorant bliss of how much money we're going to spend there. But it'll be like a lot of projects for the future.
Yes.
So,
you know how we were like, oh, we're not like stash girls. And then they're like,
we're going to come home with a stash, probably. But I'm looking forward to it. We might do like a little vlog while we're there. We'll see. So we've got a lot of fun things in the works for the future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. It's been fun to see, like, I was not expecting these videos to be this popular, like get this many views. So all of the support and like love in the comments has just been, I don't know, really fun and surprising. Yeah. I've been talking to my friends and my coworkers about this, and they're like, I'm sorry, you have a podcast about knitting? I was like, yeah, with my sister. And people watch it from all over the world, which is so crazy cool.
So fun.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun. So thank you so much for all of the support and for watching. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. Feel free to follow us on Instagram if you want to see what we're working on in real time. If you already do, you probably already saw that I finished that skirt, right? You know.
Right, by the time this video is up.
Exactly. Cheering me on. You can do it. Yeah, but leave any comments on anything that you would recommend or what you're working on, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.